Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm William. Today we will be doing the first semester assessment from the Nanyang Primary School, grade 4. So before we started, I will actually suggest you to download the paper. I will put the link to download the paper in the information box. I will suggest you to download the paper, finish the paper by yourself first, and then I'll go through the paper in the video with you, one by one, question by question, in great detail. So you will know how to get 100% for the mark for this paper. Okay, and then also if you are supporting what I'm doing, please give me a like, subscribe the channel, and also please, more importantly, share with some of the friends you know who might need the video. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's move to question 1. In the number 58749, which digit is the 10,000th place? Okay, so the question is quite straightforward. So let's count from the back. The digit 9 is the ones, and then the digit 4 is the tens, and digit 7 is the hundreds, and then the digit 8 is the thousands. So the question is asking which digit is the 10,000 place. So the answer is 5. The number 5 is the digit of 10,000s. Yeah, so the number also read as 58,749. So the answer is 3. Okay, let's move on to question 2. Which one of the following is 90,317 in words, which I've just read it. Okay, so basically when you see a number, every 3 digits you will combine them together. So in this, the first 2 number, you will read it as 90,000 and then 317. So 90,000. So you will be between options 3 and 4, and then 317. Okay, so the answer is 3. Okay. Move on to question 3. In which of the following are the number arranged from the smallest to the greatest? Okay, so you can see there are 4 numbers. It's the same number in all the options. So 3 of the number have 5 digits. 1 of the number only have 4 digits. So obviously that will be the smallest number. So A736 will definitely be the smallest number because it only have 4 digits. Okay, then let's look at the rest of the numbers. So the rest of the number all have 5 digits. So how do you compare the number is big or is small? So you are reading from the first digit from the left hand side. So this number 70836 is starting with a 7, and the other 2 number 37 and also 36. They all both are starting with a 3. So the number which starting with a 7 will be the greatest number. Okay, so the answer will be 2, because the A736 is the smallest number, and then 70836 will be the greatest number. Okay, let's move on to question 4. The price of a car is 99,000 when rounded to the nearest thousand. Okay, which of the following amount cannot be the price of the car? Okay, so they round off the price to the nearest thousand. So the price is 99,000. So he's asking which one you cannot be the price of the car. So basically you can just round off each of the number to the nearest thousand. Okay, so let me mark thousands here, which is the digits in the second digit from the left. Okay, so if you want to round off to the nearest thousand, then that means you need to look into the next digits. Yeah, so in reality you need to, so if there are 5 digits here, this is the digit of the thousand. So if you say round off to the nearest thousand, that means you need to look into the digit below it to see if it's greater than 5, you round it up. If it's smaller than 4, including 4, then you round it off. Okay, so let's have a look at all the numbers. So for the first number 9850, so you look into the digit 5. So 5 it should be round up. So the first number will be 99,000. And the second one is 98930. Again, you look into the digit 9. So you also round it up. So you will also round it up as 99,000. 99499. Okay, you don't need to worry about the last two digits. You only look into the digits next to the thousand, which you look into this digit here. So it's 4. So which means you need to round it off. So this will also round it to 99,000. And then the last one, you look into the digit 5. So 5 is bigger than, or which is 5 or greater. Then you need to round it up. So you need to add 1 to the 9. So this will actually bring the number to 100,000. So the question is asking the following amount cannot be the price of the car. So the first three option all rounded off to, or rounded up to 99,000. So the question will be 4. Let's move on to question 5. Which of the following is not a factor of 64? Okay, so you want to find out factors. What is the definition of the factor? Meaning, if the factor times another number can form the result, then that's a factor. Or if you can divide by this number without any remainder, that's also the factor. So let's look into these options. So number 1 is always a factor for all the numbers except for 0. So we are asking for not. Okay, so 1 is not the answer. And then 2, is 2 a factor of 64? The answer is yes, because 64 ended with 4. And then when you have a number ended with an even number, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, then it will be a multiple of 2. So that also means 2 is a factor of 64. Number 6, we are not so sure. So let's do the calculation. You use 64 and divide by 6. 1, 6. You put down the 4. 4 cannot be divided by 6, so it's a 0 remainder with 4. So that means 64 cannot be divided by 6 without any remainder. So the answer will be 3. How about the last option? If you took 64 divided by 8, you will get that the answer is also 8. 8 times 8 equal to 64. There's no remainder. So that means 8 is also a factor of 64. And the answer is, the question is asking, which of the following is not a factor of 64? So the answer is 3, which is number 6. Okay, let's move on to question 6. Which one of the following which one of the following fraction below is equivalent to 4 over 12? Okay, 4 over 12. So let's try to simplify the number. Okay, so between 4 and the 12, is there any common factor? If there is any common factor, we will be able to divide by number by the common factors. Okay, so that's how we do the simplification. So both 4 and the 12 ended with an even number. That means it has a factor of 2. So 4 will be able to divide by 2, which means it's equal to 2. And then the 12 can also be divided by 2, which will be make it become 6. So it's equal to 2 over 6. Okay, for the fraction, the rule is whatever you do to the top, you can do the same to the bottom. When you multiply or divide by some number, you can do the same thing to multiply or divide by the same number at the bottom. Okay, so it's 2 over 6. But 2 over 6 is also still not the simplest form, and you also don't see an option 2 over 6 in the answer. So both 2 and 6 are still the even number. So that means they still both have a factor of 2. So 2 divided by 2 will equal to 1. So 2 divided by 2 equals to 1. Then you do whatever you do to the top, you do the same to the bottom. So 6 divided by 2 will equal to 3. So that the simplest form will be 1 over 3. And then look into the answer, you have an option which is 2 is equivalent to 1 over 3. Okay. Let's move on to question 7. Which one of the following fraction is smaller than half? Okay, smaller than half. So there's a couple of ways of doing this. You can do a side-by-side comparison between the fraction to half, or you can kind of draw a picture. Because half, if you draw a pie or a pizza, it's basically like this. Okay, So for example, the first one, which is 2 out of 3, even you do a rough drawing, you can see 2 pieces out of 3 definitely is bigger than half. Okay, so that's not the answer. And then the second one, which is 3 over 7 and half. Okay, so when you want to do a comparison, you need to make sure the denominator is the same. So between 7 and 2, what is the common multiples? Okay, so 7 is a prime number, 2 is also a prime number. So when you want to look for common multiples, basically you times the two numbers together. So 7 times 2 equals 14. And then here is also 14. So how do you change 3 out of 7 to something over 14? So 7 times 2 equal to 14. So whatever you do to the bottom, 7 times 2 equal 14, you do the same to the top. So the 3 also times 2. So this will be equivalent to 6 over 14. And then the same thing here. How does 2 become 14? Which you times by 7. So 2 times by 7 equals 14. And then the top, 1 times 7 equal to 7. Okay, so from this you can see 3 over 7 is actually smaller than half. Okay, so which one of the following is smaller than half? So the answer is 2. Okay, we can try to finish the rest of the comparison. Okay, so for 4 out of 8, both of them, you can see it should be quite straightforward. Both of them can be divided by 4. So 4 divided by 4 equals to 1, and then 8 divided by 4 equal to 2, which is equivalent to half. So it's the same. It's not smaller, but it's the same as half. So it's not the answer. And then the last one, 5 over 9 and 1 over 2. The same thing as the 3 over 7. The common multiple will be between the two numbers. So 9 and the 2, you look into the bottom, 9 and the 2. The common multiple will be 18. So you need to convert them into both fraction as with the bottom of 18. Then you will be able to compare the top. Okay, so from 9 to 18, you need to times by 2. So the bottom times by 2, 9 times 2 equal to 18, and then the top, 5 times 2 equal to 10. And here you need to times by 9, so 2 times 9 equals to 18, and then the top, 1 times 9 equal to 9. So from this you can see 10 out of 18 is bigger than 9 out of 18, so 5 out of 9 is also bigger than half. That's why 4 is also not the answer. So the answer is the answer is 2 for this question. Okay, let's move on to question 8. Express 50 over 8 as a mixed number in its simplest form. Okay, so there are two tricky parts here. One is as a mixed number, and then 2 is in the simplest form, which means you need to simplify the answer. Okay, so 50 over 8, what you can do is it also means 50 divided by 8. So you can take 50 divided by 8, so that's 6. 8 times 6 equal to 48. Remainder is 2. So that means 50 over 8 can be rewritten as you put a quotient in the front, 6, and then the remainder here, 2 out of 8. Okay, but this is not the simplest form because the answer is asking for the simplest form. So for the 2 over 8, you will be able to simplify. Both of them can be divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 equal to 1, and then 8 divided by 2 equal to 4. So the answer will be 6 and a quarter, which is 2. Okay, let's move on to question 9. Enzo colored 5 out of 8 of the circle below. How many circles were colored by him? Okay, let's try this. So every row we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me write this rather. So every row you can count here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then there is 1, 2, 3, 4 rows here. Okay, so every line, every row there is 8 circles. And then the question says Enzo color 5 out of 8 of the circle below, which means for every 8 circle, what does 5 out of 8 means? That means for every 8 circle, he colored 5. So for the first row, there are totally 8 circles, and then he colored 5 of them. Okay? And then the same thing for the second row, he also colored 5 of them. Okay? So he does the same thing for every row. Then totally there are 4 rows, right? So for every row, he colored 5 circles, and totally there are 4 rows. So how many circles are there in total? The answer is 20. So the answer is 1. Okay, let's move on to question 10. Name the market angle here. Okay, so there is 2 lines with label here Q and R, and then there was an angle which labeled next to P. So when you are naming the angle, you always put a P in the middle. Sorry, you always put the angle in the middle, and you put the 2 lines in the front and at the back. So that means in the answer, we need to look for a name which has P in the center. Okay, so if you look into all the 4 answers, PQR, PRQ, QRP, and the RPQ, only one of them has P in the center, which is 4. So the answer is 4. So just remember, for the naming of the angle, you always need to put the angle in the middle. Okay, so the P, which is the angle, always need to be in the middle. Okay, let's move on to question 11. Ellison have $1043, and Linda has 7 times as much money as Ellison. What is the total amount of money the 2 girls have? Okay, so Ellison have 1043, and then Linda has 7 times of money. So meaning if you want to calculate Linda, you just took Ellison's money and you times by 7. But the question is asked, what is the total amount of money both girls has? Okay, so Ellison has 1 portion of money, and then Linda have 7 of them. So I just quickly draw here 4, 5, 6, 7. So total of them, they have 8, right? So Ellison have 1 portion, and then Linda have 7 portion, because Linda's money is 7 times as Ellison. So if you want to ask the question about how much money the total they have, which means you need to add Ellison, which is 1 portion, plus Linda, which is 7 portion. So totally they have 8 portion. And how much is 1 portion? Ellison's money is 1043. Okay, so what you do is you just times by 8. Okay, so the remaining is a basic calculation. So 1043 times by 8. 8 times 3, 24. 8 times 4, 32. So plus 2 is 34. There's a 0, so please put down the 3. 8 times 1 is 8. So totally they have $8344, which the answer is 3. Okay, let's move on to question 12. Let's move on to question 12. Which one of the following figure in the square grid below has both parallel lines and the perpendicular lines? Okay, so parallel lines means 2 lines have the same distance always to each other, and then perpendicular line means the 2 lines made up right angles. Okay, so let's have a look here. So for figure number 1, it has a parallel lines. Figure number 2 doesn't have a parallel line, so we can put a cross here. Question 3 have a parallel line, and question 4 have a parallel line, so that's fine. Then for the perpendicular lines, actually question 1 has the perpendicular line. If you check here, there is this perpendicular line which makes 90 degrees. Question 3 don't have a perpendicular line. As you can see, both of the line here was in the angle, but it's not perpendicular. And then question 4 also don't have a perpendicular line because the angle here is too small. It's smaller than 90, and then the angle here was actually too big, bigger than 90. So the answer is question 1. Answer is 1. Let's move on to question 13. After making a quarter turn in the anti-clockwise angle, Ahmed now faces the playground. What face was he facing at the first? Okay, so can he make an anti-clockwise direction, which was like this, And then after a quarter turn, so what is a quarter turn? A quarter turn is 90 degree, okay? Because half turn is 180 degree, and then full turn was 360 degree. So quarter turn equals to 90 degrees. So he make a 90 degree turns anti-clockwise, and then he is facing the playground. So if you want to find, the question is asking where was he facing first. That means you need to reverse the action. So that means you need to turn clockwise. That means you need to turn clockwise and you need to turn by 90 degree. Okay. So if he is starting from here, then if he need to make a clockwise turn for 90 degree, then he will be facing the library. Okay. So the answer should be the library, which is 4. Okay. Let's move on to question 14. Zachary has 7 number cards shown below. He used all the number cards to form a greatest 2-digit number and then a smallest 5-digit odd number. Okay, smallest and a 5-digit odd number at the same time. What is the difference between the two numbers that Zachary formed? Okay, so let's look for the first one, the greatest 2-digit number. So you want to have a 2-digit number and it's the greatest. That means you need to use the biggest number you have in the first digit. So you have 3709581. The biggest number is 8, and then the second biggest number was 8. The biggest number was 9, and then the second biggest number was 8. So 98 will be your greatest 2-digit number from this card. Okay, and then he's looking for the smallest 5-digit odd number. So if it's an odd number, so we have already used this. Okay, so you want to use it. You want to have an odd number, but there was quite a few options here. 1 and 5 and 7 and 3 are all odd number which you can put at the back. But he is asking for a smallest number. Okay, so you should put the smallest number in the front. Okay, however, so you see there is a 1 and there is a 0. 0 is smaller than 1, but you cannot put 0 in the first digit because then it will turn it to become a 4-digit number instead of a 5-digit number. So the first digit you should put will be 1 followed by 0 because you're asking for smallest number. So you need to try to put a small number in the front. And then so 1 0. You still have 3 7 5 left. So the next one we put is the smallest, the next smallest number, 3. And then between 7 and 5, both of them are odd number, but you want the smallest number, so you will put the smaller one in the front first, which is 5, and then 7. Okay, and then the question is asking the difference between the two numbers, which the difference meaning you need to do the subtraction. So 10357 minus 98. 7 minus 8. Not enough, you need to borrow 1 here, so this is 4, 10, 10 minus 8, 2, 2 plus 7, 9, 4 minus 9, not enough, so we borrow 1 from here, 10, 10 minus 9, 1, 1 plus 4, 5, so this should be 2 here, and then it will be 2, 0, 1, so the difference is 10259, which is 1. Let's move on to question 15. Carl, Lim, Mary, and Nathan are each competing in a different sporting event at Olympic Games. Basketball, swimming, taekwondo, and the women's rhythmic gymnastic. I'm not so sure what's that. Okay, so it's a gymnastic basically. Okay, and then they are giving you some clue here. Carl and Nathan do not know how to swim. Mary is the only female, and then Carl's events do not require a ball. Okay, so we have basketball, swimming, taekwondo, and the gymnastic. Okay, so Mary is the only female, and since the sport called women's rhythmic gymnastic, so we are pretty sure Mary is doing the gymnastic, and then Carl and Nathan doesn't know how to swim, so the swim will be the last boy, which was Lim. And then Carl's event doesn't require a ball, so basketball is a ball, so Carl is doing taekwondo. That means Nathan is doing basketball. Okay, so which event is the question is asking which event is Nathan competing? So the answer is basketball. Okay, so this will be the end of the booklet A in the first semester test. I think my feedback is I think there are quite a lot of the simple and straightforward questions. A few questions was on the digits. So if you know the basic very well, more importantly, read the question. I think there should be no challenge for you to get full marks, 100% for this paper. But do let me know if any question you want me to explain further, or if you don't understand my explanation, feel free to leave a message or leave a comment. And then more importantly, if you continue to support what I'm doing, please do subscribe, like the video, and also help me to share. Okay, until then, good luck.